Coming soon to theaters. Podcasts, film reviews, and so much more. Available at tristanmiller.substack.com.
And now, our feature presentation.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Focus Testing, a podcast about movies where we make a movie. My name is Tristan Miller, and joining me today is the lovely Claire Shiell. How are you?
I'm so good. How are you?
The little wave you were doing. For those of you watching, a little wave, we're listening rather, a little wave happened. It was great.
Casual jazz hand.
Yeah, little jazz hands. You and I met doing improv, but I assume you're also an actor and you like movies, and that's why you came onto this program. Do you remember the first film you saw in the cinema?
I do remember like my first moment of like being in a theater, and it was in like the IMAX theater of like the Regal Cinema. So it was like an IMAX theater, but I was really young and really little. And I remember just when like the preview started playing, the too loud, like too big. My mom had to take me out of the movie theater because I was so freaked out. It was just like way too much. It was too stimulating for, I don't even know how old I was. I was really little.
That's very...
So I didn't watch the movie. I don't know what it was. I was there.
You couldn't even get past the train. You're like, enough of this capitalist propaganda. Get me out of here. It's too loud.
That's right. I was like, I am 3 years old and I will not take this capitalist propaganda. I am protesting Regal Cinemas.
I love your distinction in like I was really young and really little, because you're right, because sometimes people who are young are quite large,
True.
They got Jack's disease.
I was skinny. I was so skinny. I was gorgeous and so little. Itty baby.
That's very funny. What's your favorite film that you've seen recently, that may I ask?
I mean, like, I have to say Barbie.
Oh,
is there
nice.
any competition? Come on.
Is there any competition? I mean, I would say there was
like recent
one
movies.
It's whatever you've seen recently. I would argue the main competition for Barbie was Oppenheimer, and we saw how that played out. And Barbie did win, so you are correct.
Barbie's always going to win. She's Barbie.
They should. Oh God, they should release a nuclear physicist Barbie.
Oppenheimer Barbie, but an actual Oppenheimer Barbie.
Yeah, like become Barbie, destroyer of worlds. Why didn't they do that? That would have been so good. Because it's not like it's hard to reconfigure previous scientific Barbies,
Yeah.
Anyhow, Barbie is very good. Do you have a least favorite film you've seen recently that you're willing to lambaste publicly?
Oh,
if not, no worries.
I mean, it's not that I didn't like it. I finally watched the movie Zola. Have you heard of Zola? It was released in 2020. Nobody's ever seen this movie. And it was like almost really good. I don't know. It's something, I felt like it had so much potential and I was so excited. I was like, I'm finally going to watch this fucking movie. I've been meaning to watch it. I just haven't. And I was like, I'm going to sit down properly and watch this movie. And it was good. It just wasn't as great as it could have been. So it was just like a little disappointing. It wasn't bad. It was just, I was just like,
there weren't sparks.
It's just so disappointing. Yeah. I mean, like, the style of storytelling and the visuals are really, really good. And like, that's it.
Oh, all flash.
It was like
no
almost
substance.
there. It almost got there. It didn't clear.
That makes sense. And you're from Montana, yeah?
I'm not. My parents are from Montana, which is why I am in Montana. But I am from California.
Ah, that's why you have an upbeat attitude. I get you.
Now it all makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I was like, normally, Great Plains and Rocky Mountain regions is a little more. Yeah. But since you have experience, though, with Montana, I still think that this question might be pertinent. What's your favorite film that centers around that region? If you have one, if you don't have one, it's all good. They're kind of few and far between, to be honest.
No, I feel like the only on-camera work I have associated with this region is like Fargo and Yellowstone. And I've seen Fargo, which is like pretty good. I haven't seen Yellowstone. Yellowstone is one of those things where it's like on the list. I go, oh, I should watch this. This looks good.
Mhm.
And then I don't.
Oh yeah, for sure. My favorite activity is to add things to my queues on Netflix and never look at them.
Right.
It's like liking a
Absolutely.
post. You're like, yeah, I like the idea
Yeah.
of this. We'll never
And then
follow
I'm
up.
it will forget about it immediately and never think about it again until I see it again.
Yeah. What would you say your favorites? My roommate is having a moment, I believe, in a video game. Pardon the
Oh,
intrusion. What would you say your favorite snack at the cinema would be?
the bunch of cruncha
Oh, hell
comes in
yeah.
like the crunch bar, but it's in little balls and comes in a big box. Love that. I also love like a sour patch kids moment, or like the sour watermelons.
Mm-hmm.
But also, if I'm at home, I want popcorn with M&Ms in it and lots of salt and butter.
I've been hearing more and more people, because not to make you feel like not special, but I ask this question of a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah,
And then people steal my answer.
Yes, pretty much. They preemptively steal your answer.
Wow.
I hear a lot of people putting the M&Ms in the popcorn these days, something I had not heard of until like 3 years ago.
It's what like my mom's go to. The Shiell family has been having M&Ms and popcorn since the early California days, and it is
Excellent.
a staple in this household.
Very good. I feel like we had the literal diet version of that, where growing up, we'd have air popcorn and we'd have apples in them, like slices of apples.
Ooh.
It's actually quite good.
I believe that would be good, but like not as good as M&Ms.
Yeah. I think it was
But still good.
I think they were just trying to trick us into eating a singular fruit a day.
That'll do it.
That will. So are you ready for some trivia questions?
I am so ready for some trivia questions. Although
Okay.
I have to say, for someone who is now on a movie podcast and has like a movie forum improv team, I don't see a lot of movies.
Oh, really?
Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. I'm a theater person. I'll see every Broadway show. I don't watch a lot of movies. I watch some, just like not a lot.
Well, between our powers combined, we have everything. We have everything covered. Don't worry about it. I don't go and see a lot of Broadway shows, but I do see a lot of movies because I am poor.
I am in debt.
Yes, I simply am struggling financially. Please subscribe to the Patreon. But first trivia question is, what is movie?
Movie is a story of human beings living and loving and going through trials and tribulations of life and finding the meaning of love. That is movie.
That is movie. So I like it. I love it. It's great. I will say, so Cars by Pixar, not a movie.
Yes. No, movie.
But no human beings, only car.
But like Soul.
Oh, okay. Soul. Movie is stories of soul.
Yes.
Good. Great. Glad we cleared that up. I was afeared for my friend Mater and Lightning McQueen, Kachow, and etc.
No, Cars is the classic movie of trials and tribulations of the human spirit. I know I say like human spirit, but they do have human spirits.
Yeah.
And they have human mannerisms and features. They're humanoids, if you will.
They have human spirits. Do you mean that the cars are haunted by the dead? Like a spirit box?
No, I think they just are their own beings. Like, you know, when you're like a kid and when you're like a child, small child.
A small and young child, yes.
And like inanimate objects, like I feel real, you know? It's like that.
Okay.
They're like humanoids.
Gotcha. That absolutely. Okay. I like that. I will say, from which actor are you most likely to steal a car?
From which actor am I most likely to steal a car? Which is great because I don't know any movie actors and I don't know any types of cars. So who am I stealing?
Other than Lightning McQueen and
other than Lightning McQueen. That's like, okay, like who is the richest, bougiest? I feel like I can say Kim Kardashian because she was on American Horror Story, which technically makes her an actor.
Yes.
And I feel like she has some cars that I could sell and make money from.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that's going to be my cop out of an answer.
I respect it. I think generally there's two modes of thought, which is great, which is one is who has the best car I can take?
Right.
And then the other is who can I successfully steal from? And I love
True.
you've taken both approaches of like Kim's not gonna miss a car,
No.
She'll be like, what?
You won't know.
And then move on. Yeah, it's all Gucci, baby.
Yeah, I'm just looking to make the most amount of money in the quickest amount of time.
Yeah.
I don't actually want the car. I just want the money from the car.
You're flipping it. Yeah.
I'm one step ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. Speaking of cars, in the Pixar animated film Cars,
Mhm.
they have mouths.
Yes, I do.
Do they eat? And if so, what?
I don't think they eat because gas.
Gas.
Well, maybe because, okay, so like gas is their primary source of fuel.
Yes.
Are they ever shown? I don't think they're ever shown eating or like sitting at a table in the movie, but there is a diner.
I have a confession to make. I've
Okay,
only seen
confess.
Cars 2, the one that has Bruce Campbell in it, and that's it. So I couldn't. I'm genuinely asking. I've never seen any of these movies.
Right. Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen Cars.
The films. I assume you've seen a car
think-
recently.
I mean, you would be surprised here in Montana. No, I'm kidding.
It's just everyone's on horseback.
It's just horse and buggies. I would take we've got here. I could show up. And I showed up at the airport and there was a sleigh and some dogs. I had a mush to the house.
I'll say this. When I visited Missoula a couple of times, and the first time I got an Uber from the airport, it was a Ford F-150. And I was like, okay, we are not in New York. Got it.
I didn't even know they had Uber here.
I know, it's crazy.
I was like, are there car services here? I have no idea.
Yeah. Oh, hey, crikey.
Okay, but do cars eat? I think they get their energy. I don't think they eat in the same way like we human beings do.
Okay.
But there is a diner. I think there is a diner, but I think at the diner they just get gas. I have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it eventually. I'll have to watch it eventually to get this out of my craw. But it is also like, well, if they use the gas pump,
that's
what
like
are
the human equivalent of getting like a feeding tube.
Yeah, like a feeding tube, like an IV.
Yeah.
Are all the cars in cars on life support?
I think they're just on gasoline.
They're on that gasoline, they're on the highway, and
that
they're gonna ride it.
Diet. They don't have time. They gotta go.
Oh, that's very good. What is a film that you remember that most people don't, that you would like people to remember?
Miss Pettigrew Lives for a Day.
Such a good one.
My favorite movie ever. You're the first person who knows what I'm talking about. No one ever knows what I'm talking about. People are like, what the fuck is that? And I'm like, Frances McDormand, Amy Adams, Lee Pace. I got so mad. I threw my earphone out of my ear. It's an amazing movie. It's gorgeous. It's stunning. And everybody's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I go, well, you don't have taste because it's the best movie. It's the best movie of all time. It's my favorite movie.
That's a very good answer. That's quite good. Yeah. I've only seen it once, but I remember really liking it. It was quite good. I didn't even realize that was Frances McDormand, because she's doing a British accent, right?
Yes. Yeah. She's so good. I'm obsessed with her. She's so good.
She is very good. She does scare me. She's got a lot of energy, and I respect her for it. I respect the hell out of her for it. But that's a great answer. If you could pick an animal to ratatouille yourself into success, what one would it be?
Oh, gotta ratatouille myself into success. So if I want to be like a successful, oh man. I mean, my very first thought was cat, but I was like, if that feels too normal. I feel like I gotta do something. I feel like I gotta choose something weird, like a ferret. I feel like a ferret would
Okay.
be
The
good.
hat
So,
can
like,
expand. The hat is like the TARDIS in Doctor Who. It can be as big as it needs to be and
right.
not raise suspicion. So go wild.
Like I could just wear like a big slouchy like beret type of beanie, a beanie situation, if you will.
Okay.
Well, with the ferret, it would have to be like a freaking what are they called? Or like I know I'm not even gonna try to describe the type of beanie that I'm thinking
You mean like a
of.
slouch beanie, like one that goes all the way to the back?
Yeah, but you know how there's like the really, really big ones that like
Mhm.
dudes will keep their dreads in?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
feel like
yeah.
that's a specific, if I'm gonna keep a ferret on my head, maybe I have to go smaller, maybe like a bird.
Well,
Bird
I
would be
mean, what I'm saying is
useful.
the hat is magical. It's a chef's hat. It's
Okay. I
it
have
can
to wear a
fit.
chef's hat.
No, you don't have to. No, but it is magical. It can fit whatever. It can be
Great.
any hat you like, but you can fit like an elephant can fit under there, and it's no worries.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got you. I got you. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. First thought after cat was ferret.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great.
Is that a good answer?
Yeah, they're wily. They're clever. They can scuttle all over. They're
They're
probably no bad
cute.
cooking.
They're like, they have really funny bodies.
Mm-hmm. It's true. Isn't it interesting how a funny body is really cute on an animal, but when the minute a human does it, we're like, what is that?
Yeah.
That's stupid.
It is stupid.
Ooh, get better,
Ooh,
society.
human beings. Come on, we gotta get it together. Ferrets are so cute.
Ferrets are cute. And if you look like a ferret, you're cute too, turns out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They got that straight and
Mhm.
skinny. They don't need those curves.
Yeah, no. Like a
Up and
swimmer's
down.
body, like a legion of Michael Phelps's.
Yeah.
All right. So finally, final trivia question in quotes.
Ah.
What makes Austin Powers so sexy?
His sense of humor
Excellent.
and his confidence.
Excellent.
That's it.
That's it. And per suggestion of previous guest Danny Aarons, what do you think about yourself that Austin would think is sexy about you?
I think he would also like my sense of humor
And your confidence as well?
and my confidence.
Yeah. A match made in heaven.
Be perfect.
Too good. That's amazing. So the next game I like to play is called Double Feature, where I offer up a film and you offer contrasting film in genre, but thematically similar. For example, Platoon and Penguins of Madagascar, as they're both about an army unit of sorts. So I'm gonna pick one, since I know you did confess to me that you don't see a lot of films. If you panic and say a Broadway musical or whatever, that's fine too. That's all
Luckily,
right.
they're turning musicals into movies and movies into musicals. So
All
that's what
the
I'm picking
time.
from.
Yeah. All the time. 100%. So the first one I'm going to give you is, what do you think would be a good pairing for Barbie?
Legally Blonde.
Mm.
Am I just saying that because it's just like two blonde girly pops?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but it's like the adventure into reality.
Yes.
I'm standing by it. I'm standing by it.
So thematically very similar. Yes, I would say so. Could we go for, with this next one, something that's like more contrast on the other side of a genre?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all good. What do you think the opposite of Christmas with the Cranks would be?
I think it would be Strangers.
Strangers? I don't know, what is this?
Is that the name of that horror movie where is it The Strangers? Might be The Strangers, where it's like
But I like that like, what's the opposite of a family coming home for Christmas? People you don't know murdering you. Well done. Perfect. 10 out of 10.
I think it's The Strangers. It's fucking with Liv, what is her last name?
Tyler?
It's like two people in their gorgeous house, and then these people just terrorize them.
Okay, yeah, I would say that's pretty well. That's very good. We'll do one more. And what would you say the opposite of Pixar's Cars would be?
Oh my gosh, Pixar's Cars. I gotta like think about it. I gotta like process. I gotta process. I gotta think about it.
Yeah,
I'm on a
take your
movie
time.
team. Oh my gosh, like the opposite of Cars. So it's got to be like people, someone getting stuck somewhere. It's gonna be. Why can I not think of anything that would work with Cars?
Okay, so
This is the hardest
doesn't
game.
it's all good. It doesn't necessarily need to be the opposite. It can be like similar
Right.
in tone. It does opposite in tone, but similar idea.
Tone, similar ideas.
Yeah. So like I guess the story of Cars is like reinventing yourself, right?
Right. Well,
And
it's
it's a
kind of like
children's
taking,
comedy.
yeah, it's like taking a step back and like slowing down because he's like stuck in the small town. At least in the Cars 1. I don't know about Cars 2. I don't think I've ever seen Cars 2. But in Cars 1, it's because like he's like stuck in that small town and he has to learn from the small town people. He wants to learn life lessons.
All right. Small town people, life
Small town.
lessons. I'd
I mean,
almost
that's like every like Lifetime and Hallmark movie of like big city girl is like stuck in her
Yeah.
small town and
I
just got
would
to save the Christmas tree farm.
yeah, that where Taylor Swift was born. I would
Yes.
say almost, do you know the rom-com Elizabethtown?
I know of it. I've never
Yeah.
seen it.
It's famed to be very bad, which I don't agree with, but it's about Orlando Bloom. He's just lost his father and he goes to Elizabethtown, Virginia, I think. And he has to learn from the small town there, but it's sad.
Oh,
It's sad. So I'd
I was
say
gonna go
maybe that.
for. I was gonna say Falling for Christmas, which is like I think it's like an ABC holiday movie with Lindsay
Okay.
Lohan and the guy from Glee. And she's like uppity, gonna open up a 5-star hotel, and then like of course she falls off a cliff and can't remember anything about herself. And the guy
Preface,
from Glee
of
takes care
course.
of her at his small little hotel that's gonna be closed down because they don't have the money. And then eventually she realizes it's a great. No, you don't understand. This is a great. It's a classic. It's a newly classic. The acting of her fiance and like the lines. And there's all these shots of like they keep doing these exterior shots between scenes of like this outdoor hot tub on like top of the fancy hotel that like you can see people through the side, like sexy people in a hot tub. It's it's so good.
It's very funny.
So that's my final answer.
Okay, I like it. Fantastic. Are you ready for the game, the big game?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. So today's random word is excuse me. Temptation.
We're making up a movie now, right? Oh, Temptation.
Yeah,
that is the name of a real movie, yeah. Okay, but we're spitballing a new movie for Temptation.
Yeah, we're spitballing new movie called Temptation. We're building it together.
Right.
Temptation for me, I have a couple ideas, but if you have a gut instinct, please let me know.
I do.
Okay, go for it.
Instinct. It's a children's comedy animated movie of these cats in a household who want the Temptations kitty treats and how they plot to get to the top shelf in the pantry. And they have to rile up all the local animals of the neighborhood. Like they have to get the birds and the operation to get to the temptation treats. And then it turns out that the life lesson was it's not about the treats. It's about the friends you make along the way.
Okay, I like that a lot. You've really outlined a lot of it, which makes my side of things really easy, and I appreciate that. Far better than what my initial thing was. Like, okay, well, Jesus gets tempted in the desert. Like that's where, yeah, I was like, I think let's go with the cat thing, eh?
Hell yeah.
I think I like that a lot. I assume you said it was animated. That's great. We can get some really fun talent in there. I think that it should be kind of similar to the beginning of Aardman's Flushed Away, where the people, the owners of the cats, leave for vacation. You know, as of this recording, it's nearly Christmas. Why don't we make it a Christmas film?
Okay. I agree.
And they're going away for holidays for Christmas. And then the cats are like, well, the people are away, the cats will play, and they want to get those tasty kitty treats. How many cats in the house, you reckon?
It's got to be at least 2. There could be more. But if there are more, there's just going to be like a lot of other animals, I think, that they have to rile up. So that might be, I think 2. 2 is solid because they got to work together.
I think 2. Should they be siblings or should they be friends? What should their relationship be, you reckon?
Well, I mean, like they're technically family because they're adopted in the family, but I don't think they're blood related. So maybe they like start off like maybe there's like a new kitten in the household and then the older cat doesn't like that kitten and they're very upset about it, but they have to befriend each other and work together to get to the treats.
Yes, I think that's good. And I think it's an element is that the older cat wants the treats. And then at some point, the younger cat like gets hurt trying to get the treats for the older cat because the older cat has given up of like, never mind.
The old cat's dying and that's its last dying wish.
This family Christmas animated comedy.
And then it's Christmas and then there's a new kitten in a new box because the other one died and then the whole thing repeats itself. The new cat doesn't like the new kitten. That's life, baby.
That's life. That's what all the people say. I like that a lot, actually. It's kind of a weird dark turn I enjoy very much. Okay. So I think that since he's an older cat and he's on his way out, he sees the younger kitten like trying to get to it. The younger kitten's about to like actually die, because it's in such a precarious position. Somehow the blender has gotten turned on and the cat's above the blender. Yeah. And the older cat is like, well, I'm in cat years 87. I'm going to just swap out here. And he saves the little cat, but does end up in a blender?
In the blender?
In the blender. And do we think he's dead? And then we cut to later on that he has like a little bandage on his tail or something? Or
yeah, I think a bad haircut just nicks a little bit of the tail off.
I love this.
Because he's just like too big to fit in the blender.
Can I tell you?
Big old cat.
Couple of things here. One, I love the image of the cat's tail getting caught in the blender and it going. The other thing is we have been skirting around Garfield and normal territory this whole time.
Right.
Do we just want to pitch this as a new Garfield movie, or do we want to try and compete with a Garfield movie coming out with Chris Pratt?
I'm a competitive person and I would like to compete. Also, I don't think they would give us the rights. I think they would charge us through the nose for small guys like us. So we gotta be original. I also love originality, and I don't want to do reboots.
Okay,
all original stuff.
Okay, so then there's no tabby cats in this one at all.
They could be tabby cats, just not orange.
Just not orange. Well, Nermal's a gray tabby cat. So
what?
Nermal.
Oh, that's the other cat.
That's the cute little cat. Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. There was another cat.
Yeah. There's also Arlene, who's Garfield's girlfriend, and then Odie, who famously is a dog that belongs to Lyman, but has been pet sit since 1982. I know too much about Garfield. Anyway, it's up. I often think, what if I had devoted this level of interest to like medicine and and
the money you'd be making now?
Yeah, I feel that way about a lot of stuff in my life. It's like, if only I was able to like be a doctor. Anyhow, cool. So I like the fact that then the older cat, let's call him Jarfield.
Right.
And
We're gonna win that legal battle for sure.
Jarfield and Normal. Jarfield saves Normal's life, but does get injured in the process. I think it's at that point that Normal realizes that they can't do it on their own and they have to recruit all these other animals.
Yeah.
What kind of animals should there be?
think there's got to be like local birds and squirrels that just like hang around the house, the neighborhood. There's got to be like the dog next door. Maybe a stray cat.
Ooh.
Maybe a stray cat to like tough guy. Tough. He's got like Band-Aid on his eye. And
he talks like this for no reason.
Yeah, he's real tough guy. He's a tough outside cat.
An outside cat. I think that's great. I think assembling that team would be good. I think also pitching it as this is Jarfield's last hurrah. We'll get all these animals on board.
Yeah.
I think that do they just use the birds to fly up or the squirrels to fly up? How do they do a Rube Goldberg machine?
I think like all the animals got to work together to finesse because like I think like if I recall correctly, like the temptation treats can come in like a plastic like a Tupperware, like a heavy plastic tub.
Okay.
Like they do like come in like a bag, but they can come in like a plastic tub. And if it's all the way up there, and maybe there's like a child safety lock, and then all the animals got to work together and use their skills to break in. The temptation's just too strong.
The temptation is just too strong. I do think there should be a character that is very much against this whole idea. Kind of like the fish in Cat in the Hat, right? So like a pet lizard or something that the family also has, going literally the whole time like in a preacher voice being like, you cannot let these temptations guide you. Like, and got a bit of that.
Religious lizard.
A religious lizard preaching to a congregation of crickets that he's slowly eating.
Yeah. He's like, you have to sacrifice yourself for me and you will have eternal life.
Cool. I like that. And so they get the temptations, and then I feel like the third act twist could be that there's a fight over them because Jarfield. Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, and also like they're just like, just give up the fight. It's not worth it.
Yeah, I think Jarfield is like, it's not worth it. Forget about it. And then one last mighty push, they get it. But then there's a squabble over who gets what amount of the temptation treats.
Yeah.
How should that end? Tristan, you posited an idea. Fix it.
Like the squabble. How does the squabble end? Like, how do they resolve it?
Yeah. Does Jarfield, who's been out of commission this whole time, be like, you guys, you got to stop. It doesn't matter. Look at you. You got each other.
It's not the meaning of life. As I've come to the end of my long final years and I've used up all 8.5 of my lives, it's not about the treats. It's about coming together as an animal family kingdom.
I like that. I like that a lot. I think that's very sweet. I think that he should give a rousing speech.
Yeah.
And then they should start fighting it over again. And then at that point, the humans come back home. And then they all have to go, oh, no, never mind.
Yeah, the humans have to come back.
Yeah, the humans have to come back. And then so everyone goes, never mind. And they all leave except for the 2 cats that belong there and the lizard who's eating the crickets. And then, of course, the humans are like, ugh, what a terrible mess, but happy Christmas. And then as everyone's leaving, maybe they stampede Jarfield, and that's how he dies. Because we must not forget Jarfield dies at the end of this.
I just thought it was going to be Jarfield is like an old cat, and it like has like cat diabetes, and is in his old age and just dies of natural causes.
Okay, yeah, that works. So we just jump ahead.
Eats the artificial Christmas tree, and that's what knocks him out. Like eats a Christmas ornament.
That looks like a temptation treat. Be like, this one's real crunchy.
He's like hallucinating. He's so old, and he's like, just one last nibble.
I think jumping a year later to the next Christmas, and then the new kitten arrives is very good. Very good. Yeah. Great. Cool. We solved it. Who should play the characters, do you think?
Let's do Jarfield first. I think Jarfield is like old man. Who's that comedian who's always smoking and drinking on stage?
Ron White?
Yeah. That's my choice.
Excellent.
I like that kind of vibe.
Love that. Yeah. I like if we could somehow make Jarfield also smoking the whole time.
Yeah. Smoking some catnip.
Yeah, some catnip or something. That's very good. Yes. Normal, I would say if we could have gotten the late great Norm Macdonald, should have been good. But as he is dead, we'll have to get it via AI or cast someone else. Maybe I think who would be paired well with Ron White?
No one.
As a young person. Normally I what about Tom Holland?
Yeah.
He's got I can do it. Let me do that.
Yeah, like scrappy young guy, happy-go-lucky. Yeah, I like that.
Like that energy. I think the old streetwise cat.
Or maybe the old streetwise cat is from Ron White and Jarfield is someone not as much that. So maybe someone who's kind of the halfway point between the young cat and the old cat.
What about? I mean, but he is at the end of his life.
Yeah.
So
we could keep him there.
What about Patrick Stewart? Playing Jarfield the cat. I'm dying.
I could see it. I could see it working, like wise old cat, not as jaded. I could see it working.
He's not as jaded, and he is also balding on the top. The cat is.
Oh.
Or when he gets into the blender, that's what happens.
Bald.
Yeah. Not again. Cool. I think. And then Ron White coming back to animation after a decade and a half. Ron White's there. The lizard. Who do you want the lizard to be? The lizard. I always feel like Jim Parsons.
Yeah, I can see Jim Parsons
being quite good for that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Do you have any like other strong feelings like about director or music or anything?
I feel like we should who's the guy who writes I'm like, who are these people who do the things that I've seen that I actually have no idea who they are because I don't actually see things. He writes like the really epic music for like Inception and stuff.
Hans Zimmer.
Yes, Hans. You should write. I want really epic music with this. Just like crazy.
That's very good. I think that's very good as a concept. I have another pitch besides maybe Patrick Stewart, because you and I both were like, that's fine. But what if it's Werner Herzog? Being like, I'm dying. I've spent most of my life wasting away inside.
I see the vision.
Yeah.
He's like the vision.
And it's because it's kind of a bleak one too. I think that fits with his temperament.
Yeah.
Like, I'm dying. I only have half a life left. You must help.
I'm here for it. We'll give them both offers and we'll see what they counter with.
There it is. Smart. And then Hans Zimmer. And then
who's directing? I'm like, who directs? I don't know that I really know like animation director.
I think Lord and Miller could be good. They did the Lego movie after all.
We should just get whoever did Cars.
Brad Bird? Did Brad Bird do Cars? I'm going to look it up right now.
Look it up right now.
Cars director. Cars film. John Lasseter. Maybe not him, as he is problematic now. But
oh,
so I will pretend that Brad Bird is the person.
Bradford, great. He gets the
Who did
job.
Incredibles. He did Incredibles 1 and 2. He's fantastic.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's also amazing.
Yeah.
Also, I need the number of the guy who did the music for The Incredibles, because that music was also epic and amazing.
Who is that guy? I'm going to put
Great
in
music.
I know it's very good. I can't. Da-da-ba-ba-da. Incredibles music composer. I love Googling on a podcast.
Yeah, it's very interesting for the listeners.
Yeah, Michael Giacchino, apparently, is the guy. I don't know what else he's done. He's from New Jersey. That's fun.
Well, then he gets the job.
Yeah, Riverside. Cool. Are you ready for a lightning round?
Yes.
You and
remind me
Mhm.
what exactly is happening.
Yes. You and I both get the same prompt, and we each do a
Okay.
small pitch for the same prompt.
Great.
So,
So
for
what I was
example-
doing the first time.
Pretty much, yeah.
This game.
But this time, I'm not going to get in your way.
You shouldn't.
So, the word is sound.
Okay.
For me, sound is about it's a romance of two carpenters who are trying to make sure that a house is in stable condition as they build it, and they don't mean to fall in love, but they do.
Wow. Okay. I love that. Mine is a student, a young man in Queens wanting to get into Juilliard for the harpsichord. And it is his greatest dream to become the greatest harpsichordist in the world. And after many denials of, we don't want your harpsichord here, he starts his own music school in Queens, and it becomes the best ever. And he wins and triumphs overall. And Juilliard closes forever because they can't compete and they can't keep up.
It's very good. I love that a lot. We got to shut it down, boys.
Juilliard's gonna start packing your bags.
Oh yeah. Cooperate.
Operate.
For me, cooperate is about two medical students, and you're not going to believe this. They fall in love, but they don't mean
No
to.
fucking way. That never happens.
Yeah, they fall in love on the operating table. And it's fine until one of them gets injured, and then of course one has to operate on the other, and will they let their personal feelings get in the way of their performance? Only time will tell.
Only time. My cooperate is about a co-op building in the Upper West Side, and there is a dead body found in the basement of the building. But no one can find any information on who this person is or their identity, and all the people in the building and in the co-op have to work together to solve this mystery, murder mystery.
Very good. Like it. Big ups. Let's go with singer. Mine is about a young man in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan who starts a competition for rock throwing because he grew up and he has no friends, and he becomes an adult with no friends. And so he starts this rock throwing competition. And of course, when you throw a rock and it skips really well, it makes noises, and they call that one a singer.
Oh. Wow. Mine is a biopic about John Singer Sargent and his gorgeous portrait. And it's also going to focus on, it's going to be, in a way, it's going to tell his like real life story, but also it's really going to zoom in on like the people in the portraits and who they are and why they're there and why they need this portrait painted and what it means to them. And just going to follow his life with taking little detours about these portraits.
That's really cool. I like that a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I don't know anything about John Singer Sargent other than he's a painter and he painted really good portraits. And so I gotta start doing my research now.
Yeah. To development. I understand. As long as it wasn't Bryan Singer, you're all good. But that, we're at the end. What do you want people to know about you that listen to this podcast?
I want them to know that I'm an actor and I want to be in all your movies.
Despite not seeing any of them, will you watch your own movies?
I won't watch it. I'll be in it. I'm not gonna watch it though. I won't watch it, but I want to be in it and I want to be paid for it. I would do it for free, just a couple times though, if it's really good.
That's very funny. That's very good. Do you want to like plug your social media or anything as well?
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, the best way to find out about me is on Instagram. At Claire Shiell, CLAIRESHIELL.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Of my Claire Shiell is the best actor and comedian person, and she would be great in everybody's really high budget movie.
Yep, perfect. No notes.
And then my improv stuff has ended for the year. So we got to see what the new year will bring. I know that my Team Mosh Squad has a bunch of shows coming up in January. Don't ask me where or when. I have no idea until somebody messages me the day before. Okay. But I'm around. I'm putting my hands in everything. So I'm lurking in the shadows. I'm everywhere.
Okay. Very cool. And as a reminder, you, the listener, you can go to tristan.substack.com for early access to the episodes, or patreon.com/Tristan J. Miller. I'm probably going to migrate over just to Patreon because I messed up my life, but you can follow this podcast there. Also, if you made it this far, God bless you. Number 2, I do a bonus podcast where a guest and I talk about their comfort movies called Movies to Fall Asleep To. So if you want access to that, again, Substack, Patreon, check it out. Thank you very much, Claire. This was so much fun.
You're so welcome. This was so much fun.